that, or I can do the prospect. Okay. Caden, are you live? Caden, are you live? Are you live?
Me? Am I live?
Are you live, Caden?
Yeah, I am.
Are you doing the open division?
Probably not.
Are you doing the open division? Do the open division.
Probably not.
Are you doing the open division? Do the open division.
Probably not.
Are you doing the open division? Do the open division. I have 3-on-3. Yeah, I'm a god at it. Huh? I can't. I'm doing the open division right now. But I will. What do you mean you're already done? Or done? Oh, yeah, when I'm done with it. Yeah, yeah. Stupid! God damn. Stupid!
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, and the proper help that he needed. Sporkle.com. He was a very laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown. I actually got the chills, and I got goosebumps on my arms as our usually laid-back teacher too seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. We all sat in silence for about 2 minutes, and then the usual buzzing that came from a panel in the back of the room ceased, indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you." It was at that moment that I started to fear for my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door. And that's when one of the crying girls screamed no. The banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up." 2 of the girls in the class were crying out loud now. It felt like an eternity that man was pounding at the door. But eventually, he finally continued down the hallway, screaming like a mentally insane person until we could not hear him
sounds
anymore.
like me whenever I'm about to
I'd say 10 minutes later, in the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker explaining the situation, which was surprising for him to do. He explained that some apparently mentally unstable person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not. Now this was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security, so the school was wide open to something like this happening. The staff had done a sweep of all the hallways and classrooms and couldn't find him, so the dean instructed the teachers to resume teaching but to keep all the doors locked and to not let any students leave for any reasons. The most disturbing part, however, is that one of the janitors working the night shift found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets near the back end of the school, and according to rumors that were spread by my peers, Sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum. The janitor must have done something stupid to wake him up. For example, leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer could arrive on the scene, the man was gone. My entire class, as far as I know, to this day, has no idea if .com. He was in the room.
I want to hear this guy scream again, dude. This is fucking hilarious.
This must be actually started all of you. It was at that moment that I started to fear for my life.
Sounds like he's getting raped.
Teacher shushed us
I
as we all
know.
looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door. And that's when one of the crying girls screamed no.
No!
Banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up."
No, straight up, you know what
Two
I
of the
would
girls
do?
in the class were crying
Like,
out
I'll
loud
say, yo
now.
guys, let's just grab desk
It
and
felt like
chairs
an
and start
eternity that
yelling
man
at
was
him.
pounding at the door.
Like, screw
But
hiding
eventually,
in a
he finally
corner.
continued down the
Open the
hallway,
door and just
screaming
throw
like a
stuff
mentally
at him.
insane person.
These people are retarded.
Power. We
You know
all
what I
looked at
mean?
each other, realizing this must be serious.
Stop.
A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. Two girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you." It was at that moment that I started to...
Guys,
That's just hilarious.
hey, Caden. Philip. Listen to this man scream.
We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. Two girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you." It was at that moment that I started to fear for my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door. Like a man was before the school. Not hear him anymore. I'd say 10 minutes.
Panda. Alright, so, oh my god, look at my teeth. It's like, they're like fangs. Arr, oh my god, I didn't know penguins. I didn't know pandas had like some sharp teeth. Arr, okay, next one, the bunny. Ew, what's up, yeah?
With popcorn and other junk food spilled out all over the floor. As the night progressed, we moved from video games to watching half a movie and getting bored to doing prank calls at close to 10 o'clock. Anthony made a few calls to different pizza places.
Of course his name's Anthony.
My turn, I just dialed a few random numbers in hopes to get someone at their house. On, say, my fourth attempt, I finally reached somebody. A guy with a deep and rough voice picked up, answering with a yeah instead of a hello. Anthony's laughing in the background made me stumble with my words mid-sentence, ultimately cracking up into laughter. I had never done a prank call, so I sucked at it. You sure it's not Anthony? It hit me like a brick. I looked up
I
at
always
Anthony,
said it's not
whose face
Anthony,
was noticeably
or
full
is
of
it
fear.
Anthony?
I hung up the phone, not wanting to be on the line with whoever that was for another second. Anthony. No, it shows
Anthony.
my dad's name.
And we're
Anthony.
prank calling people.
What the fuck? Dude, this is
And we're prank calling
weird.
people.
This kid name is Anthony, bro.
Could get Anthony's name so quickly.
And
He was way too young at the time to be on any of those personal information sharing websites. We ended up asking
get the fuck out of here, boy.
since no one had a similar experience.
Sorry, we don't like prank
Turned up
callers
no
or
answers.
anything. I'm sorry,
Before the
Anthony.
lock
We
was
can't
shut, did it?
have prank callers here.
Anthony turned off the TV, and I went over to the window to see who it was. I spread the blinds open. There was a tall guy standing outside. He noticed the blinds moving and turned to look at me. I practically threw the blinds back into place. Me and Anthony hid in the kitchen, listening for any more noises. We heard the sound of the gate to the backyard opening, as it was right
Oh my
outside
god,
the kitchen
Anthony.
window.
Anthony, don't go.
that?
Don't go
I
in.
said,
Anthony,
to shut
what
the
the
back door.
fuck did I tell you? Don't go
Anthony
in.
urged me to run and shut it. I made it to the hallway leading to his back door and froze. There was a silhouette standing
Anthony,
outside
you better
the back
not
door.
walk in there. I'm
I don't
telling
think
you.
he noticed me,
I'm telling you, don't walk in
he was
there.
surely looking into the house.
Fuck out of here, boy!
He opened the door and stepped inside.
I'm ready to
I
do.
tiptoed to the kitchen and motioned for Anthony to follow me upstairs. We made it to his room
Dog,
as
you ready?
quietly as possible, pulling the door shut to avoid making any noise. We crawled under his bed. He had cloth covering the bottom of his bed, so you couldn't see anything under it unless you actually moved the cloth. The doors downstairs all opened, each one getting closer to the stairs. Thumps finally began up the stairs, and he was right outside the door now. The door to the room opened. I could hear Anthony's breathing. It was too loud. Footsteps moved over to the closet.
Anthony,
Quit moving
Greg!
loud.
I could hear the coat hangers being slid around as the fabric of the jackets and coats rubbed against each other.
I like how we're just talking about Anthony. That's your fucking-
And why prank call people?
I felt like my heart was about to explode out of my chest. Anthony's breathing was too loud. I had to cover his mouth
Freaking
with my hand.
calling McDonald's, asking the McDonald's
Nothing but silence in the
employee
room
out.
now.
Oh my god.
We laid still for so long, I almost thought he wasn't even in the room anymore. I moved my hand away from Anthony's mouth
Anthony.
and whispered in his ear, "You think we can make a run for it?" He was about to answer when the most disturbing, memory-haunting scream I'd ever heard filled my ears as Anthony was seemingly
Shooting.
dragged out from under the bed. I crawled out and saw him struggling with the man. In his ear. You think we can make a run for it?
This ain't funny, but I love the voice sounds.
When the most disturbing, memory-haunting scream I'd ever heard filled my ears as Anthony was seemingly dragged out from under the bed.
And why? That hurt
crawled
my
out
ears so bad.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't scream like that.
You think we can make a run for it?
Can I get
I was
out
about to answer
No, ready?
when the most disturbing, memory-haunting scream I'd ever heard filled my ears as Anthony was seemingly dragged out from under the bed. I crawled out and saw him struggling.
That actually sounds
I desperately
legitimately
looked around for
scary.
anything to use as a weapon. I settled with the screwdriver sitting on his nightstand. I hurried over to the man and drove the screwdriver into his back. He let go of Anthony as he let out a scream of agony, giving us time. I crawled out and saw him struggling with
Listen to this guy.
I desperately looked around for
himself.
anything to use as a weapon.
Listen to this.
I settled with the
Philip,
screwdriver
you ready?
sitting on his nightstand.
Yeah.
I hurried over to the man and drove the screwdriver into his back. He let go of Anthony as he let out a scream of agony, giving us time to get the hell out of the house.
Ah!
To the road we could too easily. It would take 2 minutes outside, looking around the backyard. He then looked out to the woods. I felt his eyes pass me as he scanned through the tree line. It seemed that it was too dark for him to see us. Then, he turned his head back in my direction. I ducked behind a bush. Joe, he's coming. What? Dude, get up, we gotta run. He was right.
Oh
The man was approaching
yeah.
us fast.
Oh
How
yeah.
could he have seen us?
Anthony, you're gonna make me.
We ran through the woods with the leaves crunching under.
Oh.
So we carpooled with Alex's girlfriend, Brianna. We lived in the countryside of Virginia, meaning less big parties. Meaning when there was a big party, it was a huge deal and everyone would go. We lived about 5 to 10 minutes away from this kid's house. I knew where he lived as I was acquainted with him, but not exactly friends. The whole ride there, we took the same 2-lane highway type road through the woods, and this kid's house was actually on this road further down. At certain points on this road, there were a few houses on either side, and then it would just go back to being a long, empty highway again. I'll skip left. I could barely even think straight, but I was still furious at the fact that Alex could have actually left without me. I asked to use the party host's phone and dialed Alex's home number. After
I asked
2
somebody
tries,
to
I
rub
gave
my
up and
nipples,
then
but
realized
they
I
never
shouldn't wake
did.
his family up. so literally not knowing what else to do, I dizzily stepped out onto the road and began walking back home. I knew this walk would take anywhere from half an hour to an hour in my condition. Maybe after 15 minutes of walking down the road, the slight shine of car headlights on the road was fading in from behind me. Jumping for joy inside, I lifted up my arm and stuck out my thumb. As the car neared, it slowed down and came to a stop right next to me. The man driving the 98 Ford Explorer looked out the window and asked where you headed. I told him my house was just down the road and beyond a right turn, probably slurring my words beyond comprehension. He chuckled and told me to hop in. I then...
Oh yeah, time for me to jerk off. Oh shit.
The next thing
You guys
I
heard
remember,
that right?
I woke up
Please continue to hear that.
disregarding things the guy was asking me because I was so close to just passing out.
Damn, that pussy's bright,
The next
man.
thing I remember, I woke up still in the moving truck. The guy looked at me and laughed, but didn't say anything. I looked around and realized the road we were on wasn't
Eating
familiar.
my dick.
I nervously
Maybe
asked,
some fun.
where are we going?
Kiss my
Then said,
pants.
so what were you doing out this late anyway? As the man answered my very straightforward question with another irrelevant question, the sobering reality of the situation hit me.
Hit me
You
like
can
a
let me out
thong.
anywhere, I told the man. The man responded with a firm no. I felt like throwing up as he said that. No, I really actually felt like I was going
I
to
knew
throw
I can
up.
go to this fucker's house.
I started to gag as I felt more and more nauseous by the second. The man took his eyes off the road to look at me, and that's when I
Took
thought
his
of the
dick off
perfect
the road
distraction.
and now jerked
I
off.
turned in his
Shut the
direction
dick
as I
in his
continued
mouth.
to gag, and he started to kind of lean away and slow down the car. Thankfully, I drank as much as I did because I finally threw up and made a point of doing it all over the man's lap. The man yelled in frustration and stopped the car, and that's when I took it upon myself to run for my life into the woods and duck behind a few bushes. The man came following into the woods
have
with
to
a
sell my
flashlight,
shit.
and
How
on
do I
two
sell
separate
my
occasions,
shit?
he shined the light straight over me without noticing. Eventually, I heard his footsteps walk even further into the woods past me. That was when I ran back to his truck, but unfortunately, he was smart enough to lock
Over
it.
the 3!
By some miracle, I saw another car approaching in the distance, and I ran out into the middle of the street, waving my arms like a lunatic. The car tried to avoid me, but I wouldn't let it. They were forced to stop, and I yelled at them to help me before they came back. Once I told them that I was kidnapped by the man who was driving that Ford Explorer, the driver agreed to give me a lift. Not to the police station or anything, but to my house. I made it back safely where I couldn't thank the driver enough. I immediately woke up my parents and told them. My dad wanted to know if I got his tag number, and then I felt like punching myself in the face. I failed to get the simplest information from the guy that would have allowed me to actually properly report him. All I knew was that he drove a faded blue 99 Ford Explorer. I made sure to give Alex a piece of my mind, and part of me always held a grudge against him ever since, just for abandoning me at a party without telling me. I haven't seen him in 4 years now, however, and this was actually the first time I even thought about this incident for almost a year now.
Go in. Go put
I love this guy right here. What?
Go put Fortnite here, or are you gonna play Fortnite?
This happened a week ago.
You gonna play what?
Are you gonna play some 3-on-3, or are you still doing that solo challenge?
I'm waiting for the 14
Until a few
minutes
days
to
ago,
be
I
up.
went to a small local
Oh.
gym in my
I
now
thought you
previous
played
New
much
Jersey
with
town
3-3.
called Black Bear Fitness.
One match,
One day,
like,
I had the
each 5
misfortune of
minutes.
running into
5
some
minutes, 10
skinny,
minutes.
awkward, yet creepy looking...
I gotta download it again. But it'll go down fast. It get down fast. Get done fast. But I have to wait for it to load.
When I heard him saying something to me, but it was muffled by the music. I was already annoyed with this kid, given that he was breaking an unwritten rule of the gym. Don't try to talk to somebody when they're doing their sets. I took my time finishing my set, and then took my headphones out to ask if he needed something. Then he started acting like I looked familiar, but right away I knew this kid was just trying some pathetic attempt at
I'll be back.